There's a lot of things in the world that you take for granted. Some you probably know you do, like having a place to live, food to eat, or even a nice bed. But are there some things that you take for granted that you don't even realize you do? More specifically, something you were born with, didn't really have to learn to use, and most likely have always had? I'm talking about your 5 senses. Instantly when you were born, you probably let out a nice yell to let everyone know you were okay. After this, you opened your eyes and saw your parents for the first time, and thus started your journey into this world. As you grow older, you listen to what your parents and teachers tell you to do, start trying different foods, some tasting pretty good, and others smelling pretty bad. Now, of course you know this because you've lived through it and you're watching and listening to this video. However, there are a number of people in this world that might not be as fortunate as you. In 2019, it was estimated that there were 285 million people visually impaired in the world, with 39 million people being completely blind. And along with that, 466 million people have disabling hearing loss. Now there's something very specific about being deaf and blind that separates them from the other senses. There's usually a social cue that lets you know a person has one of these disabilities. Usually a person who's blind has a white cane with them, or maybe even a service dog. And a person who is deaf communicates in sign language. However, the other 3 senses might not be as obvious. Specifically, the loss of smell. Out of the 5 senses, smell is by far the one most taken for granted. Growing up in the world, you're not taught how to smell. It's always around you and always there. But this isn't the case for everyone. And I'm one of those people. Hi, my name's Elephant, and I have what is called congenital anosmia. Google defines this as a condition in which people are born with a lifelong inability to smell. It may occur as an isolated abnormality, no additional symptoms, or be associated with a specific genetic disorder such as Kallmann syndrome or congenital insensitivity to pain. In my case, it's an abnormality, because I can definitely feel pain. Ow. Growing up with no sense of smell presented some obstacles, but also presented some benefits. Throughout this video, I'll explain what it's like to live in the world without the sense of smell and how it's affected my life. Before we get into the video, smack that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers within the first 3.5 months of 2021. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll be giving away 1,000 to one of my subscribers. So tell your friends, family, whoever you know to subscribe. As we all know, and are probably tired of hearing, 2020 was the start of coronavirus, the global pandemic. One of the most common symptoms of coronavirus is the loss of smell. Now, before COVID-19, anosmia was practically unheard of. So much so, my sister Sophie went to a doctor and the doctor told her they had never seen this before. Now, when I was a kid, I also told my parents that I had no sense of smell. And they didn't actually believe me at first. They actually thought I was pretending to be like my older sister Sophie. And as a little kid, I'm not sure I would have done that. Just kidding. Sorry, Sophie. It wasn't until one day that my mom decided to pop popcorn while my sisters and I were playing upstairs. My eldest sibling came running down the stairs for our favorite snack. But my sister Sophie and I stayed upstairs because we had no clue. Popcorn is my favorite snack, and it still is to this day. So my mom knew I would never pass this up. This proved to her that indeed I was telling the truth, and for some reason, 2 of her 3 kids were born without the sense of smell. Growing up, this wasn't always a bad thing. I didn't know or complain when someone smelled bad. Smelly trucks, skunks, or cows didn't really affect me when driving down the highway. Even at my first job, when I had to clean the restaurant's bathroom, it didn't really bother me because it truly made no difference to me. And one of the best things, my girlfriend would probably argue otherwise, is that I can fart wherever, next to whoever, whenever I want. And it will never affect me. I can never dealt it if I never smelt it, right? Now, even though it seems like there aren't many downsides, which there aren't, the downsides that do exist are fairly serious. I never know when I smell or what I smell like. Growing up, I really didn't see the purpose of deodorant until like mid to late high school. That may sound bizarre, but to someone that can't fully comprehend smell, I never really knew when I stank. Obviously, there are many ways to counteract this. I shower every day, I almost always wash my clothes after I wear them, and now I obviously wear deodorant. Personal hygiene isn't the only problem. On top of that, it probably isn't the best idea for me to ever live by myself. I could never smell a gas leak, Or if you want to get technical, the mercaptan that's inside the gas that allows you to smell it. I could never smell a fire. I'd have to visibly see it or physically feel the heat. And on top of that, I can never smell my food is bad or is burning. So I always have to keep an eye on it. When I tell someone for the first time that I have no sense of smell, their first response is, really? Once we get past this stage of me proving it to them, there's always one question that they ask. And it's a question that's probably on your mind too. Can I taste? Growing up, we're told that smell plays a huge factor on our taste. So much so that some sources say that from 75 to 95% of your taste is from smell. However, what if you've never had the sense of smell? Specifically, my taste has never relied on the sense of smell to get the full flavor. Do I taste things fully? Can I appreciate the full flavor of food without the sense of smell? In my opinion, I can definitely taste. Some foods taste sweet, sour, spicy, good, bad. The list goes on and on. However, is this the same as others? I've never put this to the test. In our next video of the series, I will be going head to head against Rebecca in a blindfolded smell and taste off. If that's something you want to see, make sure to smack that subscribe button and turn your notifications on. You're not going to want to miss that video. If you enjoyed this video and maybe learned something new, give this video a big fat thumbs up. If you had to lose one sense, what would it be? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Subscribe to Elephant on YouTube, man. That's Elephant with a 3, man. He ahead of his time. It's your boy Gator and Wiggling. Yeah.